It's a Wednesday. You're in a glass conference room on the 31st floor. Your manager is on slide 14 of the Q3 roadmap presentation. You're nodding. And somewhere in the middle of that sentence, you realize you haven't actually been present in this building for almost 2 years. Not your body. Your body has been here every day. But you, the part of you that actually has opinions about things, that gets curious, that gets excited, that part checked out a long time ago. And you've been performing its presence ever since. Performing engagement. Performing the version of yourself that belongs in this room. Nodding at the right moments. Asking the right questions. Sending the right emails. A performance so practiced you stopped noticing it was a performance. But today, on a Wednesday, on slide 14, something shifts. Not anger, not a breakdown, just clarity. The kind that arrives quietly, and then refuses to leave. The job pays $94,000 a year. Health insurance, a pension, 3 weeks vacation. Your mother mentions it at every family dinner. Your father never had anything close to it. On paper, you won. First in your family to get this far. The one who made it. The one they point to at Christmas. And you are grateful. Let that be clear. You are genuinely, completely grateful. That's what makes this so complicated. You can be grateful for something and still know, in the part of you that doesn't lie, that it is wrong for you. Those two things can both be true. Most people spend their entire lives pretending they can't. The commute is 47 minutes each way. You've done it 230 times this year. You've listened to every podcast worth listening to, read every book you kept meaning to read, exhausted distraction, and now, on the train, there's just the window and the question. What would I build if I wasn't afraid of the answer? You don't answer it. Not yet. You go home. You eat. You sleep. You do it again. The questions like that don't leave. They just get louder. Weeks pass. You lie awake at 1 a.m. Not anxious exactly. Not depressed. Just awake in the way you are when something won't let you stop. The apartment is quiet. The city outside keeps going. And the question is still there. Until one Sunday night, something shifts again. You open a blank document, and you start to type. Dear. After careful consideration, you stop. Read it back. Delete it. Start again. You don't send it. You close the laptop. You tell yourself it was just an exercise, a thought experiment, nothing more. Monday morning, you write it again. Different words, same letter. You still don't send it. Thursday, 11 p.m. Everyone is asleep. Third version. You write it. You read it back to yourself out loud. And your voice doesn't shake. That's when you know. There is a particular kind of fear that lives exactly at the boundary of the life you have and the life that is actually yours. You're standing at that boundary right now. And the strange thing, the thing nobody warned you about, is that it doesn't feel like courage. It just feels like the next true thing. You sleep on it. 3 more days. You reread it every morning. It keeps saying the same thing. So, on a Tuesday morning, at 9:14 a.m., you walk to your manager's office. You close the door. You sit down. and you slide the letter across the desk. Your manager reads it, looks up, reads it again, then says, "I thought you might do this eventually." 3 things happen that day. Your manager looks at you differently, not angry, almost respectful. Your closest work friend says, "I wish I could do that." And you notice you've heard that sentence before, from different people, different years. None of them ever did. And on the train home, for the first time in 4 years, a stranger asks what you do for work, and you pause before answering. The last day arrives. You hand back the laptop, the badge. You ride the elevator down. The lobby looks the same as every morning. But you exit through the same door, in a completely different direction. The first morning without the alarm is the strangest morning of your adult life. Your body wakes at 7:02 anyway. Old wiring. It takes 3 weeks for the wiring to update. Nobody tells you this. Freedom feels like falling, before it feels like flying. The structure you spent 4 years resenting was also the thing holding the shape of your days. And now the shape is gone, and you have to build a new one, from scratch, with no template. Every purchase has weight now. $4 coffee. You do the math you never did before. $4 times 30 days times 12 months. You put it back, then pick it up again. Because some anchors are worth keeping. Week 2. You build a schedule yourself. 6 a.m. run. 7 a.m. the work that matters. Noon, whatever you need. It falls apart by Thursday. You rebuild it Friday. Falls apart again the week after. You keep rebuilding. That is the job now. Nobody tells you that the hardest part of working for yourself isn't the money. It's the absence of external validation. At the job, someone told you what good looked like. Now you have to decide that yourself, every single day, with no benchmark, no performance review, no approval. Just you and your own standard. Your mother calls. How is the job search going? You haven't told her the full picture yet. You say, "It's going." She says, "Okay." The words she uses when she's worried, but won't say so. Month 2. You're making 40% of what you made. But something is different. You wake up, and the first thought isn't dread. It's a problem you want to solve. That's new. That's important. There's a Tuesday in month 3 where you work for 9 hours straight without noticing the time pass. You look up, and it's dark outside. You've never once lost track of time at the old job. Not in 4 years. You write that down. Lost track of time. 4 words. Everything. Month 4. You call your mother back. This time you tell her the full picture. There is a long silence. Then she says, "I knew you wouldn't stay there forever." You'd never heard that before. Month 5. Something small happens. Someone pays you for the work. Not much. But the number doesn't matter. The exchange does. Someone chose your work. That is an entirely different sentence than someone hired you. You sit with it for a while. The apartment is quiet. Nobody else knows this happened yet. You let yourself feel it before you explain it to anyone. That's new too. Month 6. You're making 60% of what you made. You're sleeping better than you have in 4 years. Not a coincidence. Data. You pass your old office building one afternoon. Look up at the 31st floor. Try to remember what you felt in that elevator every morning. You can't quite reach it anymore. It already belongs to someone else's story. Month 7. A former colleague reaches out. Different team. Better title. 112,000. You think about it for exactly one day. You decline. Not dramatically. Not with a speech. Just, thank you, but no. 4 words. Clean. Because here is what nobody tells you about going back. The version of you that left is not compatible with the version that returns. The exit changes you. You can't unknow what you now know. Month 9. 85%. Month 11. You cross the old number. And you notice that the money, while real and important and necessary, is not the thing. It was never the thing. The thing was waking up and the first thought being yours. Not assigned, not scheduled, not owed to anyone. Yours. Your father calls. He's heard through your mother. He doesn't fully understand what you do now. But he says, you seem different. You say, I am. He says, good different? You say, yeah, good different. You didn't leave because you were brave. Brave implies you weren't scared. You were terrified. You left because staying had become its own kind of damage. Slow, quiet, the kind you only see in retrospect. There's a difference between security and safety. The job was secure. You needed safe. Those are not the same word. Most people use them interchangeably for their entire lives. You are not fixed. You are not finished. You are not a success story. Or maybe you already are, and the definition just changed. You are 32. You have less money than your colleagues from that job. You have more time than any of them. You have the specific dignity of work that is actually yours. You are inconveniently, expensively, imperfectly, free. Nobody gave you permission to do this. Nobody needed to. The question you couldn't unask on that Wednesday. You're living the answer now. It took 11 months. It cost you comfort and certainty and the version of yourself that other people found easier to understand. It was worth it. Not because it worked out financially, though it did, but because the person who wakes up now is someone you recognize. If you're sitting somewhere right now, performing presence, nodding at slide 14 of someone else's roadmap, I'm not going to tell you what to do. You already know. You've known for a while. The question is just, how long are you going to keep pretending you don't? Next week, POV. You make more money than your father ever did, and you feel nothing.